Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shit Talking Sundays, where every day is Shit Talking Sundays. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, um, and hit the notification button if you ain't done that. This is our fitness tip of the week, with Vince the Beast. He's going to come on here and give us some advice on what to do or not to do, or you know what? I'm not even gonna let the mouse out the bag or whatever. I'm just gonna bring him on. Let's get right to it, like we always do. Shit Talking Sundays, fitness tip of the week. We've got Vince the Beast. What's up, Mr. Beast?
What's up, AG? How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm always doing good. Every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm about to go run a couple miles.
Okay, there you go. Well, the weather's been good. It's good enough to get out there and get a run in. So, yeah, you
Right,
should
right.
be fine.
So today, um, I guess we're going to be going over some tips or something. What? Give us the breakdown.
Yeah, for those that tuned in last week, and especially those that tuned in live, much appreciation. Thank you for that. We talked about the five exercises that I recommend, the best ones to get the most out of your workouts and to get to your whatever your journey or your fitness goals are. So obviously, if you do the five that I recommend, we need to know about which five ones would I avoid or do I avoid. So I wanted to touch bases on that so people can get an idea now that they know what to do. It's also about knowing what not to do, because at the end of the day, people time is money, and people have a limited amount of time to give to the gym or to themselves. So you want to get the most out of your workouts, the most out of your fitness when you're going to the gym to exercise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we
Um,
get started on it.
all right, yeah.
So one of the first ones, and it's a back extension machine. I don't know the exact name of the model. It doesn't say on it, but for a lot of people I see them using it. So I'm sure that those that have been in the gym, they've seen somebody if they haven't done it themselves. But basically, you're laying kind of at a 45. You're like at a 45-degree angle, and it's like a little bench, and it has a couple handles in front of it, and you set your eyes on the padded area, and then basically you bend over, and then you come forward just from the waist up. You bend over and you come up, and it's to work your lower back muscles or erectors, um, you know, the professional term, but your lower back, your butt. So the reason why I do not like that is a couple of reasons. One is most of the time people don't line it up right, and I haven't seen any of them that have like a direction about it on how to line up or where you should be in proper alignment to get the most out of it. And that's going to be the case with a lot of these, just because it can cause more pain and or even injury if you're doing these wrong, which is the whole counterproductive part of going to the gym and exercising is you want to do it right. So because of you don't really know how to line up right, and if you have any type of like back pain or back issues, or a lot of people have like slip discs, or they have their spinal, like the joints, the tendons and joints between their spine, might be collapsing, or they might be overweight. Any of those actions when you're trying to do that machine is can cause a lot of back pain, which if anybody's had any type of back pain or back injury, you know how hard it is to move around, to walk, to stand, to even sit sometimes. So obviously you want to avoid injury. So by doing that, one of those exercise I really don't like for people to do unless they are in good enough shape to do it, and or they have somebody that has trained them or shown them the right way to do it.
Okay, okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Nobody wants to get hurt. That's the one thing you always push with us is about making sure you do things properly, because getting hurt only sets you back. So if you're trying to accomplish a goal, last thing you want to do is get hurt. Just like when you blow
Exactly.
an engine.
Exactly. And it's not necessarily a bad machine, but I see more often than not people doing it improperly, and because of that, you end up, and then you, and even make it worse, you see people doing it with weights, like they'll be holding
Mm,
dumbbells or they'll be holding a plate or a medicine ball to add more weight to the fact. So if you're doing it incorrectly without the weight, when you try to do it with weight, you're just setting yourself up for some back pain and, or like I said, unfortunately, maybe an injury that comes down
mm,
the line. So
pulling a muscle. Right, right, right,
oh yeah,
right.
pulling a muscle. I mean, even worse, like like I said, this is your back, so like your disc in your back,
Mm-hmm.
cause them type of injuries, and you can also strain like your abdominal muscles, your hip flexors, the front part of your hips. It can cause more damage than it can cause than it can be of a benefit to you if you're not doing what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it.
Right, right, right. Okay. Well, that's one.
Yeah. So the next one is, and I know, I'm sorry, AG man, I hate to bust your bubble, but you know that pretty much any of the machines that focus on the bicep and tricep. So for them fellows out there that want to bring out the gun show, the weather is warming up, like I just said earlier. It's getting nice out. People want to start showing off their muscles, their body, their arms. Fellows and ladies. Ladies like to show their guns too. So, but pretty much any of those machines, and I say that, and just like the other one, with a grain of salt, but for a different matter. Not necessarily you can cause injury, although you can on some of the machines, depending on which one it is. But a lot of the tricep and bicep machines, I see people on there, or I see people wanting to use that, and they say that their goal is weight loss.
Mm.
So for one, if you're setting the machine, so here's a rule. Here's a philosophy that I use, and it's a scientific one. So it's not necessarily me, but it's the scientific. It's exercise based. If you are in more control of the movement and the exercise that you're doing, you burn more calories. The less you're in control, a where you're sitting there and you're doing a bicep curl in the machine, elbows are here, and you're just doing hammer curls.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of movement. There's very little control that you're doing. The machine does all the control. So you're going to burn less just based on that alone, because now, I mean, this is all that's working is the bicep. You're not working
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
nothing else.
Now you say, you're not going to burn anything. So let's just flip the script. Let's talk about the other spectrum, the people that are little, that want to bulk up. If we isolate, does that help build it faster? If we're not trying to lose weight, we're trying to gain weight. So, will that help bulk us up faster?
That's a good question. Not necessarily. So I'll say this: if you are someone smaller that's trying to build hypertrophy or gain more muscle mass, it is okay to use that. Say in spurts, not on a regular basis, not your weekly thing. But here's another problem with a lot of those machines: they are built for like a certain size individual. So if you're too tall or if you're too short, not necessarily weight wise, but if you're too tall, if you're too short, you won't be able to line up right. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was competing, I mean, doing isolation, like at the end of a workout, after say I'm doing, like say I'm doing shoulders and arms, and I want to isolate the muscle groups to really, like you said, really put an emphasis on challenging those muscles to grow and to strength overwork them a little bit. But it can be fine. But a lot of the times I've found a lot of those machines, you can't even line up in it properly because of how the machine is made. because again, they are so restrictive on your ability to move. So because of that, you just I just rather avoid using those, like I said, especially on a regular basis, if at all, because you can't you unless you get the machines that have the proper that you can line up properly in.
I know that um, I'm guilty, like everybody else. Um, especially when you don't have someone that can be there to spot you. That's kind of why I think I go to those kind of machines because um, I don't want to get caught under the weight because it's not fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there's again, I'm not saying these machines are bad. I'm saying that they can be bad based on either the individual's knowledge of how to use them,
mhm.
and or some of the machines. Like there are some, like I said, that are fine, they are perfect, that I would use. I've used in the past, and I would put people on and train them on in the now and in the future. But there's some that aren't. So again, not knowing that, you kind of want to get again, I guess, get with a professional before you do that, so that
Speaking of professionals, if anybody out there needs to be trained, and I do mean that in the gym, and want Vince the Beast's services, you know what? There's his phone number. If you hit that phone number right there, you're going to reach out to him. He might be able to give you some one-on-one tips, or maybe put you in a program that can help get you the things that you need. Remember, he's a team fitness major, and that's Vince the Beast. He does have YouTube and all the other stuff, but that number, I want to cut all that other stuff out and get you right to the source so that if you need his services, it's right there. Because, you know, just because it's shit talking Sundays doesn't mean that every day can't be shit talking Sundays. So if you need to chat with Vince the Beast, he's right there. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, and uh, let the show go back to the professional. My bad.
yeah, no, definitely appreciate the link to that, definitely. But and as I was saying, like you saying, like hey, I'm not comfortable with being under a certain weight, or I'm not sure what to do with the no. I know a lot of people, male and female, that can be intimidated when they go towards like the squat racks and the machine, like the things like that, or when they're over in the dumbbell section, or in the free bar section, or Olympic lifting section. So like, hey, and they have circuits, for machines. Again, those are fine and dandy. I'm not saying machines are bad at all,
Right.
but the proper use or improper use in this case of the machines is what makes them bad. It can cause you to, again, cause strain and or further and or injury, which again is the whole reason why we go to the gym, to avoid that. We don't want to go to the gym to get put on the shelf.
Right.
Most of the time, it's people coming off the shelf, or off the couch, that's trying to come and do the movements and trying to get back in shape.
Okay. Okay.
So the next one I have, um, is the
Number two.
stationary bike. That bike, because you only have two different. Yeah, well, we have a lot of different bikes, but the two basic bikes are the stationary bikes and or the recumbent bikes. The stationary
Oh,
bike
okay. Go ahead.
is the one where you are when you have a backrest. And
Okay.
so you see people, and they sit in the chair, and they lean back, and they're just sitting back, and they're pedaling.
Right.
And a lot of times, uh, these bigger gyms and these more financially, built gyms, they have like the TVs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if you have, say, like we just talked about in the very first exercise, if you have like back injuries or something like that, to where you can't, or if you're, just getting started and you are really deconditioned, if you're really out of shape. And
Mm-hmm.
if that's what only thing that you can really do, that you can keep going and push forward, fine, go with that. But I want people to avoid that. And the reason why is you're basically pedaling on the couch,
Mm-hmm.
for one. For two, you're not working, which everybody wants to. Every person that works out wants to work core.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're not doing anything for your core. You're just setting back. Your core is not engaged in anything. Whereas the other bike, you have to set up, you have to prop yourself up. So you have to hold yourself up, and your core is what's keeping your body, lined up. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why. Now, again, if you have injuries, or if that is the only option, and the only thing that you can do for a sustained amount of time, by all means, go for it. But
Right.
I do not recommend doing that, especially if you can do other exercises, other cardio equipment, treadmill, recumbent bike, ellipticals. If you could do any of those, you're gonna get more out of that than you are sitting on a stationary bike. I don't, I don't care if you do it for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna get as much of a benefit because you're not putting enough of your body in motion to really start to burn a lot. Of course,
I
you're working
mean,
your legs,
what
but
about for just warming up? That's something good to warm up before a workout, 5, 10 minutes, just get the heart rate going.
if you're working out, just do the other bike. When I do legs, a lot of times I just get on the bike and that's what I do.
Okay, so just avoid it.
Yeah, I would say just
Period.
avoid it altogether. If
There's better
unless
ones. Okay.
unless you're one of those another criteria, because yeah, you can warm your legs up on the other bike just as easily if
Right.
you're
Right.
doing leg day. And if you're doing leg day, say you're doing squats or if you're doing deadlifts, if you're starting off, because most people that are doing it, you're going to start off with the compound movements, the squats, the
Mm-hmm.
deadlifts, the lunges, all of those, especially if you're doing weighted ones, your core is going to have to be engaged. So
Mm-hmm.
might as well warm up your upper body and warm up your core and start the process of keeping your posture and alignment before you get to the lifts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Okay. All right.
so again, we just talked about core. Pretty much. Well, I'm gonna save that one for last. So we'll stick with that. Women, and I say this out of pure love. I say this from a place of caring. Stay off of the abductor adductor machine. Please stay away from that machine altogether.
Okay. Explain which one that is for anybody out there, just in case they're not sure which one you're talking about.
So basically, you're setting how we're setting down now. You put your feet in these little hooks, these little slots, and then you have pads either on the outside of your thigh or on the inside of your thigh. So if obviously on the inside of the thigh, you're closing your legs, and that's the resistance. On the outside, you're opening and you're adding the resistance on the outside. So you're working it from the outside to work your outer thigh, your butt. You're doing it from the inside to work your inner thigh.
Okay. Now,
And I
here's
mean,
my
don't
wait. Here's my question for you then, because I know there's got to be a lady out there that's going, well, I remember the first time I got on it and did that, I couldn't walk the next day because I was so sore. So it does make, and me from personal, I stay away from it. I'm taking your advice. I don't even go around it because I know what it can do. I tried because it doesn't seem like you working real hard with it. So when I used it, I knew I couldn't walk for a few days because everything hurt so bad. So for me, I don't know.
so okay. Now, confession, when I was competing in bodybuilding, I used to frequent both of those machines. But because I'm trying to get development on certain very small muscle groups or very small pieces of my thigh, because anybody that knows anything about bodybuilding, it's about making every single muscle that you can create, even, or if you that you have in your body to show. So your inner thighs, trying to work your adductor muscles, on your thighs. You know, you're trying to get that separation between the upper and the lower part of your thigh. I mean, the front and the back part of your thigh, and as well as your butt, the outside of the butt.
Saying
But
not to use it, right? You're saying not to use it, but you're making a very compelling argument on why we should. I'm just saying.
oh well, you're not letting me finish. See,
Okay, okay,
I'm
here we go.
getting to the I'm
Here we go.
getting
Here we
to
go.
the
See, and that's why every day is shit talking Sundays, and you might have to think outside the box. You might learn something. So here you go. Here is the light bulb going off for all y'all that don't know. Because for me, I was like, it sounds like I
so
could
like I said,
use
I
it.
emphasized
Mm-hmm.
when I was competing
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding on stage. And even now, I would probably use it if I was competing. Maybe I probably wouldn't use the abductor. The abductor, I mean, so two things. It can cause injury, of course, like all exercises. But because, like you said, when you used it, you were so sore. So if you're really deconditioned, it can really cause a muscle strain, especially because those are small. Even though it's the thigh muscles, they're the inner thigh is the muscles aren't very big, so they're usually not active. And but here's the problem. Now let's get to the problem. The problem with that is most women that I talk to that have spoken to me about that machine and or just in goals, period. They want to they want to make their thighs smaller. They want to tone their thighs. They want to make them smaller. That exercise is not a shrinking exercise. It's not for to make your inner thighs tighter or smaller. So it can tone them, yes. But if you have like if you want to shrink them, you know, if you have bigger thighs and you want bigger than you want them to be, it's not going to make the muscle smaller itself. And again, if you want to make your thighs smaller or toned or more fit, working your inner thigh muscles, that's not going to get it done. You want to work the bigger muscles on your legs, and that's the front part of your thigh, your quads, and the back part of your thighs, your hamstrings. And but mainly doing more compound movements, the ones I just mentioned, squats, lunges, things of that nature. So because of doing that, you in doing that you're going to build all around development and tone and shrink your muscles and shrink the fat, melt the fat away and shrink the circumference of your thighs. You don't shrink the circumference of your thighs when you do that. And I really speak more on that abductor, which is the ones where you come in. The adductor is a little easier to accept because you can work part of your outer your butt muscles. But even with that being said, those muscles aren't going to get you to the ultimate goal that you want. You need to be more with the fronted part of your thigh and the back part of your thigh if you want to isolate either one. Because when you work your back and the front, you're also working the inner and the outer because the muscles more the inner than the outer because the outer muscles it's really not a muscle on the outside of your thigh, it's a tendon, your IT band. And I know runners understand about that tendon very much. IT band that's not really a muscle on the outside of your thigh. So I avoid those because it doesn't serve the purpose that most people that I've spoken with over the years really want to focus on and want to achieve.
Okay. Now that makes more sense. Okay. So ladies, if you want to shrink your thighs, stay away from that one machine that makes you squeeze your thighs. I would assume running, and things like that will help burn fat faster. That and the squats and stuff like that to burn the fat off your legs, which is making you look bigger, although your muscle is going to weigh more. So you
Right.
won't look as big because the fat is pushing you. Think of it like cotton. If you got cotton on and you're wearing a cotton jacket, you look poofier. But if it gets rained on, it's flat. So consider the muscles the rain, and if you rain on it, it's like okay, now you're tightening. You're more tight. So it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and free nugget. If you want to more, you want to focus more on the inner part of your thigh when you are doing leg exercises. Do sumo squats or sumo deadlifts. Those that will work on the inner thigh more, as well as, of course, the your butt mostly, because whenever you add abduct, which is take away from, that's a good way to think about between the difference of the two. Adduction, you add; abduction, you take away. Whenever you're in that position, your butt muscles, if you know, are supposed, you should activate your butt muscles, and it targets that muscles more, as well as your inner thigh. So if you want to do something that gives a little more emphasis on the inner thigh without building up bulk, because when you isolate, here's the thing: when you isolate, that's the whole point. You isolate for, like you said, in when we talking about the bicep tricep. When you isolate a muscle, it's to make the muscle grow. It's not necessarily to make the muscle shrink. Isolation doesn't shrink the muscles per se. It bulks and builds the muscle up. So that's the difference between doing an ISO as opposed to. I mean, think about what the word isolation means. Isolation, like to bring in, to put the folk to have an insulin and a focus on one specific thing, or a smaller section. Is to bring it closer together in one piece. To focus on that piece. So that's what that means when you do those exercises.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I
Um,
saved the best for last. Oh, the absolute best.
My favorite one, watch, it's going to be the one I use the most. And that's
It,
probably why I'm not
it, it
gaining no
might be
weight.
one you use, because I know, I mean, the machines are very popular and they have them at every single gym. And
But
I don't have one specific
mm,
one. I really put them all in the, I put them all in the big old ball together.
mhm,
Ab
mhm.
machines.
Wait. Um, Before you give that, if you haven't already liked, shared, subscribed, or hit the notification button, at least one of the four, you're only a 25% shit talker if you only hit one button. If you hit the notification button and you subscribe, then you're only half a shit talker. So you're almost there. So if you hit the notification button, you subscribe, and you share, you're three-quarters of the way. You're almost officially a shit talking Sunday fan. But if you hit all three, you hit the notification button, you share it, you subscribe, and what is the last one?
You like it.
You like it. If you like it, then guess what? You are a Shit Talking Sundays fan, where you can officially say every day is Shit Talking Sundays. And remember, this show is a fitness tip of the week that we do every single Wednesday at 6:30. Right now, we're doing it with Vince the Beast, and we plan on staying with him. So I need y'all to contact me, and because I'm running out of questions to ask him. I know he's got plenty of things he can say, but I need you guys to tap in and let us know what kind of things you're interested in learning about. All right. But with that going all said and done, let's get back to the most important one that you say to avoid.
Yeah, and like you said, man, cause let's go. We in 2022, and with everything that's been going on, especially over the last couple of years, and there's no need for shortcuts. Let's go 100. Click all four of them things, and let's keep it moving. All right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So so ab machines. I don't even have one to. I mean, I have some I can pick out, but I don't have one that I can say I really don't have a lot of good to say about those. I'm being honest with you. I'm just going to be all the way 100 with you, like we just talked about. Any of them, you pick one, pick any ab machine. No, that's why I say the machine,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the time, what you end up working, you might work some abs, especially it depends on your condition. If you may feel some soreness, but you're working more muscles. You're assisting in getting your and doing the ab exercises.
Mm-hmm.
You're either pulling down or pulling forward, and these muscles, your arms and your
Okay.
shoulders, are working with your abs. Or you're doing one where you're having to lift your legs up in the
Mm-hmm.
machine, and the weighted ones are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, if you're at the ability to where your abs are that strong, where you're lifting or you're crunching with 30, 40 pounds, then you can do pretty much any core body weight exercise there is. If your abs are truly that strong, you can do hanging leg raises, you can do stability ball exercises, you can do crunches on the floor, you can do leg extensions, you can do hip thrusts, you can do all these other ones with no problem. If you're able to put 30, 40, 50 pounds on the machine and do ab crunches.
So are you saying that those are more important for you to okay, let me back it up. Are you saying that it's better to just hit the mat and work out with no weights and just kind of using the God-given um, uh, skills that you were given to be able to just work out opposed to sitting on those crunch machines? Because I use those machines a lot, and and maybe it's just out of laziness, but maybe, I mean, what you're saying makes sense. I mean, for all the shit talking Sunday fans out there, let me let you know, it is very important that if you don't know a whole lot about working out, it's very important to get familiar with it. Just because, look, just because you go to the gym and you work out doesn't mean you're being productive and getting something accomplished. Because there's been a number of times that some of the things that Vince the Beast has said from Fitness Major, um, when I corrected it and stopped doing it that way, or stopped using a certain thing and did it the same workout with a different uh, weights or different area of the gym, I noticed that I gained. Like I said, back in the day, I was 120 pounds, and now I'm about 160. So I know that what he's talking about really is the truth. Didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. Back
Oh,
to
we
Vince the
good.
Beast.
We good. No problem. Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm not saying you can't use weights. I'm saying don't use weights on the machines. Don't use the machines. Period. Because yeah, I use like a medicine ball. I did that just the other day. I did like some sit-ups or some crunches with the medicine with a not a medicine ball. I had a plate over my head, overhead plate. So you can use weights, so some core exercises, but the machines itself, because you can't help but to use other body parts to cheat. You just
Mhm.
can't, because if you so on the, you got the ab cruncher thing where everyone lays down and it has like little arms like this, and you put your arms here and you do these crunches,
Mhm.
and you got the little headrest and the headrest moves. Most of the time people aren't even using the headrest properly, if at all. They're tilting their head forward. So now you're getting your neck, straining your neck muscles, you're getting out of alignment. That's bad enough as it is. But now you're working. You start to see the muscles in your forearms start to flex, because they're flexing, because they're working. They're doing the work. You're getting up because you're doing that. So if you want to try it, take this test. Go on that machine And every single gym, unfortunately, has them. That every gym that is more than just one gym, any franchise or chain gym. So take your hands from here, put them here on that same machine, and do it, and see how you do there. See if you're able to still get the lift up and the crunch to where you can do. Just do 10. And then also that machine also has the foot pegs. So you got the foot pegs, and a lot of times people are straining because they're using they're pulling with their feet to get themselves to crunch up as well. So now
Mm-hmm.
you're activating your hip flexors, which last I checked, hip flexors are not ab related. They don't give you a nice flat stomach or a chiseled or a ripped abs. And then also, which again, that's another muscle you're taking away from working your abs. So you're not really working the whole the point that you want to really focus on. You're working all these other muscles along with this. Now, you can get sore and you may feel it depending on your condition. But
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, if you do you do them same crunches on the stability ball, the big balls we talked about before in the last episode. If you do the crunches on there, or if you do the knee tucks off of the ball or on the floor, you're gonna feel it a whole lot more. And another thing to that, abs are endurance muscles. Abs are working 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but as long as you're moving around, long as you're
Mm-hmm.
setting up, long as you're standing up, long as you're walking, active, moving, running, whatever, your abs are the only thing keeping you from falling forward and slumping over. So they are built for sustained activity. So do not do abs, take 1, 2 minute, 3 minute break, and then do another set, and then do another set. Depending on your condition, take, you know, 5, 10, maybe 30 seconds just to get your wind back and hit them again. Those muscles, or that's how you change that's how you change the circumference on your midsection when you work in your core muscles, is to keep them constantly focused and engaged.
Engage.
That's why they
Mm-hmm.
always say you always walk around belly button to spine, sucking your stomach in, keeping your posture up, because they're built to sustain you all throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what's so crazy? If you know, quick challenge for all my shit talking Sunday fans. Um, Try to do what Vince the Beast just said. Try to, you know, how you tighten up your stomach. Like if someone's gonna punch you in the stomach, tighten your stomach and hold it as long as you can. Try to do that 10 times a day, every day for a month. Just 10 times throughout the day. Hold your stomach like as if someone was gonna punch you, and just hold it. And after 1 month, let me know if you saw any gains, because I'm going to think that if you do just that alone, I think you're going to see some change. But you can't give up. You can't just go, okay, I'll hold it for right now. And then 3 seconds later, you go, that's as much as I mean, really challenge yourself. Okay. Challenge yourself. You know, you can cheat everybody else. You just can't cheat you. You are going to get out of you what you put into it. So if you sit there and you don't take the challenge seriously, well, hey man, it's your fault. My bad. But anyway, there you go,
Yeah,
Vince.
I mean that's a great challenge, and that is recommended. So you are spot on with that, and doesn't I mean you're not gonna lose 3 inches off your or 2 inches off your waist for that, or you're not going to have a six pack in a month from just doing that. But it's just like they talk about, and your doctor talk to people about, hey, doing a bunch of little things,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of health people talk about, hey, instead of riding around the parking lot for 10 minutes trying to find the closest parking spot to the door you can, go park at the back of the parking lot and walk through there. Instead of taking the elevator or an escalator, take the stairs. Instead of eating French fries, get some broccoli. Little things. one time a day, or twice, or once a week. Little things like that are all things that help. But by doing what you just said, it's going to cause the muscles to cushion them. So they're going to start being comfortable with being tight and with being
Uh-oh, I think we lost him for a second.
maybe you start off
Oh,
holding
there
the
you
plank
go.
for 15, 20 seconds. Now you can hold it for 90 seconds. So it's the little things. It's the building blocks that we go through. Again, this is a journey, so it's not going to be built in 1 month or 3 months.
Right.
It's a journey, it's a lifestyle.
Yes. I can't emphasize that enough. When I got into the gym, um, I worked out for a couple months and then I quit. Typical, like everybody else. Years later, I would go back to the gym. I'd work out for a couple months and I would quit. And I think a lot of it was the fact that for about 2 or 3 months of working out, I saw so little change that I got discouraged, right? But people don't understand the first 90 days ish of your workout routine, if you're really committed, is when your body's adapting and preparing itself to start transforming. So the second 90 days is where you will be able to see change. You have to give it time. And if you quit after 90, I mean, don't get it wrong, I saw some change in 90 days, but when I quit, I lost it all. So when Vince the Beast says it is a lifestyle, it is a lifestyle. Once you get in, if you live a healthy lifestyle, you'll maintain everything that you did. Just food for thought.
Yeah, and lastly, to add on to that, yeah. So people need to, and it's so hard. Is I understand because I have socials as well. My IG, fitness major, team fitness major. I have my Facebook fitness major. I have the TikToks and the Snapchats, and people see these people on there, and they see all these things that they're doing, and all the and sometimes, unfortunately, the myths that they tell,
Hmm.
or they display on their socials, and or they see the rewards. They do see the rewards, and they see, oh wow, that's what I want to get. That's what I want to get. I want to have that. I want to have that flat stomach. I want to have my ass lifted. I want to have that, chest in that, and I want to have those rounded deltoids. I want to have that big wide V-shaped back. But people need to look at it. Need to broaden their prospect. They broaden their viewpoints. I mean, of this journey. It's not just about being fit. It's about being healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people all the time. I mean, I do this for my health. The show is a bonus. That's the reward. That's the reward. The mirror reward.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many things in just 1 month or 3 months for sure that change if you commit to be consistent and progressive. Not
Right.
only your endurance, your stamina will increase. Absolute.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that starts to change is your ability to recover,
Mm-hmm.
and your bone density can increase. Your
Hmm.
blood pressure can decrease. Your blood sugars, your cholesterols.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, right? So what got me into this change, and getting involved with you and everybody else is, I went to the doctor, and even as a little guy, I would like to say that I'm not really fat by no means. Um, when I had blood work done, they said, my doctor came back and gave me a call and said, "You're pre-diabetic." I was like, I thought that's only for people that are overweight. And that's not true. Diabetes can hit anybody, any size, any age.
Yeah.
Um, when the fact that I was only pre-diabetic was a blessing for me because when I hit the gym, and I went hard 5 days a week at the gym, um, and after the about 5 months, 6 months of being consistently at the gym, I had my test done again, and I have lowered my sugar levels. My was it the A1 or AC
A1C.
A1C, um, and my doctor says, "Oh, you're back in the safe zone again." Although, as soon as I quit working out and started living the same unhealthy lifestyle that I was living, and I'm not gonna say it was real unhealthy. It wasn't, gym
When you
constantly
factor in the
running.
decrease of the activity and the
Yes,
increase of the unhealthy eating habits, even if they're minor, it
right.
all those together, again, the small things, a bunch of those small things create the big ball.
You know why I think people forget about that is because when we're back in school, we're having PE all the way up until I want to say like your freshman year, junior year ish. After that, you really don't have a whole lot of physical education. It's done differently now, So um, at that point, that's why I noticed when I was at the gym, I saw a lot of younger kids or just younger people in the gym working out, and I was like, wow, this, it's good that you start the routine early and train your body to be used to living a healthy lifestyle and keep doing it while you're young, because your body is already used to working out and being active. When you try to start again at, when you're in your 50s, that kickstart is a little harder to kickstart. Sometimes you need a little bit of that. What is that? That spray starter in there to get you really motivated. So for
Hmm.
me, I would like to say if you're trying to do it, you want to, you know, try to live a healthy lifestyle now and forever.
Yeah, like we can just think about this. It's a lifestyle. So I mean, you gotta like I was saying, you gotta broaden your perspective.
Mhm.
I got so many stories of people, you know, that they couldn't even walk on their own. Now, I've had people that have, started off with walkers or canes, and now
Mhm.
they forget. Oh man, I went to the store today. I forgot my cane. I forgot it at home.
Mhm.
Like it becomes an afterthought because they have become accustomed to doing natural things. Again, small things that you don't even that you take for granted. Stepping in and out of the shower, doing house chores, doing yard work, little
Mhm.
things, working on your boat, you know, doing little things that people just think that's just that's automatic. It's not. There are people that it is not automatic for. So it's not
Mhm.
just about how nice your abs and your chest looks or your butt and your thighs. It's
Mhm.
about all those things start to change in the 30 to 90-day range that you might not even pay attention. You be able to do
Right.
stuff longer
Mhm.
or be less tired afterwards or recover faster. So it's not just about the superficial. I know we're in a superficial society, but it's not just about that.
Right on. Right on. Well, any parting advice you want to give anybody, or do you want to just keep it moving, man? Because I never like letting you go because you're always trying to keep us all healthy, and the more I pick your brain, sometimes I get to overspill some of the other things that are in your brain. So I'm gonna say this again to all the viewers out there: if there's something that you want to know, um, little jewel, if you can't afford a fitness instructor, if you tune in here and you email AG the dad at shittalkingsundays.com, he can ask Vince the Beast a question for you, or you could call that number that's on the screen and Vince the Beast will you know, reach out to you and help you. Also, quick disclaimer for everybody: if you are, before you decide to start working out, make sure you check with your physician. And if you're having a medical emergency, please call 911. And also, don't forget to talk to your doctor. You'll be surprised how open your doctor will be on trying to give you advice on how to stay healthy, especially as you age, because as you get age, they want you to stay healthy and stay moving. Real quick story. There was this older gentleman that I saw at the gym every day, and after my workout, he would be right there in the sauna with me, and he would put in some good time in the sauna, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And I would look at him like, man, for an older guy, you're pretty, good at this. And I asked him how old he was, and he said he was 90. And I was like, wow, man, you still go to the gym? He goes, I've been going to the gym since I was 30 years old. Um, and I've never stopped going. And when I retired from work, because I asked him what the Fountain of Youth was, because he obviously had it. And he said, when I retired, I didn't retire to a chair. I just retired from doing work. Now I do everything that I want to do. I just stay active. I don't sit down. Once you stop using what you have, you lose it. Just always remember that. If you don't use it, you will lose it to some degree. I'm not going to say it'll be a permanent loss. Um, I had some family members when they got older, they stopped walking as well, and it really got hard. And I think that's for anybody at any age. If you're not getting the exercise and getting that heart rate going, it will put a toll on you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this in parting, and I got to go get my spiritual feeding on. But like you just said, it is so important to maintain that activity, and to go see your doctor. I went and saw my doctor 2 weeks ago, and I went and got my lab work done today. My
Right
annual
on.
lab work is it's important as especially as you get older. To really just learn like what do you need to look out for as you get older. That's like my main reason. I had no issues, thankfully. I just wanted to talk with him. I'm about to have a born day coming up, and I wanted to know, hey, I'm hitting a bracket. Like, what is a few things that I need to start looking out for to start to prepare for mentally and or health wise in my next my journey. And I always go every year. I get my annual lab work done just to make sure check all the boxes, because just because you look a certain way does not mean that you're healthy. Health
You
doesn't
know,
have a look; it has
you
a
know
feel.
what? It's funny that you mentioned that. I forgot that the MS Warrior on on my Shit Talking Sundays podcast, in the Light of a Warrior. She wanted to know if you would be okay with coming on as a guest and talk to other MSers that are suffering from multiple sclerosis, and maybe give them some pointers on healthy living or healthy whatever.
Yes, I see her. I see her post right now. So yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Again, I'm always down to come on. I mean, and yes, MS, COPD, fibromyalgia, things like that are so important. And I mean, there's more people having this, and they need to understand what they need to do and what are
Right.
the benefits of it. So absolutely,
In
I'm
the Light of a
definitely down to
Warrior.
salute her for being a warrior in that. 'Cause yeah, definitely.
Right
And,
on,
and
right
and
on.
honestly, those people are better to work with because they understand the value, and that's what it's really about. People need to. That's why people start and stop, because they don't see value in exercise
Hmm.
other than the basic or the superficial. There's no deep motivation. Whereas
Right.
anybody that had any type of any type of injury or chronic illness or experienced, an unfortunate incident in a close family, friend, or relative, understand the value. And I think people are starting to understand a little more with COVID and everything that's going on. But to understand the value behind exercise. It's not just, again, it's just not about just how well you look.
Right on, right on. All right, well, man, we touched on a lot of stuff today, man. I really appreciate you coming out and taking your time out to give all these free jewels to everybody. So please, if you guys are interested in some one-on-one training with Vince the Beast, please hit him up. His phone number is listed on the screen right now. If you decide you want to meet up with him, just hit him up, and I'm sure he can direct you on a path to getting you where you really need to be. Vince, I wanna say thanks again for you coming out. Um, all my fans out there, Shit Talking Sunday fans, remember every day is Shit Talking Sundays. The fitness tip of the week is every Wednesday at 6:30. In the Light of a Warriors every Tuesday at 6. Don't forget morning service every Sunday at 9:30 with Pastor Phil with Calvary Christian Center. And don't forget the monthly message with Pastor Phil as well. That's on the first Friday of every month. The weekly message has been postponed a little bit, and we've changed it to the monthly message for right now, just because our pastor has he's had some more things happen in his life that was requires a little bit more of his time. But with that said, I want to say thanks to everybody out there for tuning in to another episode of Shit Talking Sundays, fitness tip of the week. And remember, every day is Shit Talking Sundays. Peace. I'm AG the Dad.